Hi, I'm Richard Clayton, COO of Namos Solutions.
I'm David Caldwell, the Oracle Team Manager at Knowsley Council.
Dave, thank you for joining me today. We were just on the way up into this recording talking about just the length of how long you've been working with Namos. And it was you reminding me that, we might have gone live in 2020, but you were talking to us for a year before. And you look at the length of our managed services arrangements and all of the rest, that's a really long-term partnership.
I mean, absolutely. I think a lot of the trust comes from the initial meetings with Namos. So back in 2018-19, we were starting to look at our options for on-premise Oracle. We were an ERP site at the time, very happy Oracle customer. And obviously, there was a big push on Oracle Cloud, Oracle Fusion at the time. We were approached by Oracle themselves as to what our roadmap was. At that point in time, we didn't know. We didn't believe the cloud was the right solution for us because we thought we'd customized too many things. So in order for a bit of reassurance, we asked Oracle for a cloud readiness assessment. And fortunately for Knowsley, perhaps Oracle and Namos, we were introduced to Chris Mason, and he came up and did a cloud readiness assessment for us. In that initial day of assessment, I felt, as did other people who were involved, there was a cultural fit straight away, and that was quite important to us. So that's how we started the journey with Namos. That was for our initial move to the Oracle Cloud. I thought it was an incredibly good project, very well managed by Namos and Knowsley. We started partnership working, which was different to any relationship I've had with consultants in the past, because sometimes you can be left with a bitter taste in your mouth when working with consultancy, because you know that you want to get the best price and you feel that they want to get the most out of you. Whereas what I thought with Namos was, of course, everybody wants to either save money or make money out of this, but I think Namos's approach was about continuing the business relationship with Knowsley after the implementation, which is why we decided on them as our managed service partner as well.
I was saying just that you were the first customer I ever met, and what you're saying there about that trust, I can talk from my own personal experience. These projects become difficult, but you've got to protect the relationship. That has to be first and foremost. And my first impression of seeing how you were with our CTO Richard Eltham, the wider team, is that I almost thought you worked for us. So I couldn't quite work out who was Namos, who was customer, because it felt natural. It felt like you wanted to be working together. And back then, it was the cusp of COVID. Had it not been for seeing how those relationships were, but that was a convincer, certainly. So back then, the world was different, and pandemic changed priorities. Happened midway through your implementation. And what you've always been absolute on is it's the resonance of Knowsley and how you must put forward not just the staff, but also what is value for money for the region. How did you manage to go live with such success at a time that all those external pressures and really impacting on the communities that you work with?
I think you touched on it then. The relationship with Namos and Oracle throughout this project was key, because there was a real in it together feeling. And I don't just say that lightly. From some of the initial project meetings where we brought senior managers on board from whatever services were going to be affected by changes to the Oracle system, you guys, Namos, helped us co-host these sessions, talking about the perceived benefits of Oracle Fusion, Oracle Cloud, for the council, for the users of the system, and although we're back office, if we can do things better for less, then that benefit gets passed on to the people who visit and, more importantly, live in the borough, hopefully reducing transactional costs, which don't benefit finance per se, but will benefit the council. It's about partnership working, and it's not just about partnership working with Namos. What's important to me is I see Namos as a way into Oracle as well, especially now on the technical side of things, because we're pretty much happy with our Oracle estate, but there's a huge rate of change within Oracle technology. So we don't go to Oracle if we want to change something. We go to you guys, to Namos, and you will put us in touch with Oracle for a demo. or one of your guys, or we work together. So it's a three-way partnership. It worked from the off, and it's still working now.
I mean, literally now, today, we're at a Namos user group where we've got customer stories feeding into then really exciting stuff with Oracle presenting alongside us about that AI affordances and what could, you talk there about bringing value for money and cost savings that then trickle into the communities that you serve. What is it for Knowsley to look at? Where is AI properly purposed?
Whether anybody likes it or not, AI is here. And we all have to see what value it can add and also appreciate the risks it can bring. I'm not saying we don't trust AI, but we want to work with AI to look at, in particular, if we talk about Oracle, initially transactions that can be made quicker, clicks that can be fewer, anything that can improve the end user experience, not just for a better feel because it's more modern, but it takes less time to do the same task. So in my remit as Oracle team manager, and that's the management of Oracle ERP, EPM and HCM, I need to look at how everybody using that, and I've got HCM on board, that's an awful lot of people, can have not just a better experience, but a more efficient experience. There's so many things going on in the world of AI, so many documents that can be loaded into different AI data lakes, etc. But we've got Oracle Cloud, Oracle Fusion, and everybody who is employed by Knowsley Council, because their payslips on there, has access to Oracle. There's not many applications across the council that do that. So for me, I know that the work I do in AI can touch everybody who works for the council, whether it's ease of access to a payslip or booking leave, etc. So AI, to me, it's just exciting and challenge after challenge. But I'm looking at, utilising AI from the Oracle side of things within the council to do things better for everyone.
And I think you've hit the nail on the head there. It's got to be with a purpose. It's not, I want to do, you said the modern, new, shiny thing. Those are vanity projects. If you can't see what's that real world value, why do it? It's not because we all just want to tick some acronym boxes. You were really brave in taking on new tooling that we're developing in RAG agents, so retrieval augmented generation. Tell me what was your experience with that?
Well, we worked with your technical guys who were very pleasant to work with. But what impressed me was how quick it was deployed, and it did what it said on the tin. So your technical team gave us access, a couple of procedure notes, and we're able to load our own documents within there, interrogate them. Initially, as we're piloting things like this, because there's a lot of crossover across the council with people doing similar things in similar areas, we've concentrated on loading our finance information in there. So we've got, publicly available budget reports, statements of accounts, financial procedurals, contract procedurals, all the things that underpin, a good finance professional. And the head of finance has tested it, very happy with it, asked it questions, more importantly, gave the right answers, which is always my concern with AI. He's asked other finance managers to check it. So initially, what we're looking at doing is rolling that out now. So we have a tile within the Fusion application itself, and my finance colleagues can, use what I've been using, the head of finance has been using, and we roll it out. And I think if that is successful, the real benefit we've got is it's within the Oracle application with a single sign-on login, and everybody who gets paid by the council will have access to something similar if we deem that's the way we're going to deliver AI.
A brilliant history of the partnership there. And one of the really exciting things is, we're growing this organisation. You touched on there that, right at the beginning, our CEO is there doing cloud readiness assessments. And in the space of however many years now you've been with us, 6-7 years, grown as an organisation, we constantly need to adapt and make sure that we're providing very best level of service. And part of that is our evolution of our managed services setup. From a course of tickets is important. You need to know we can hit an SLA. That's our bread and butter. But, perfect SLAs does not necessarily mean perfectly happy customers. It's got to be the there's a partnership there, and actually it's not focused on just keeping the lights on and SLAs and support. It's focused on understanding, what's important to you and making sure we're providing continual improvement together. Talk to me about, as one of our long-standing managed services customers, how you've seen that service evolve and how you continue to see it evolve.
In my opinion, we've renewed several managed service contracts with you guys. Managed services isn't just about tickets and ticket resolution, because there's an abundance of organisations and consultants who can do that. Perhaps when you first go live and our first engagement with managed services, because it's a different team than the project team, that's what you see the managed service as a relationship where things need changing, development opportunities, etc. Raise a ticket resolution. But that's, to me, is not what managed service is about. It's still about partnership working. Ticket resolution, tickets and ticket resolutions drop off. We should do if we're all doing our job correctly. And then it becomes about development, fine-tuning, etc. And us as an organisation, as a local authority, we haven't necessarily got our finger on the pulse of what's going on in Oracle. And that's why QBRs in particular, the way we do it with another local authority in the Liverpool City region, works very well for us. So we don't just have Namos there, we have Oracle there, product development, direction, roadmaps thrust upon us. We are asked about our roadmaps, and they're things that we'd find hard to do without partnership working with a managed service provider. So, as I've said, we could have somebody else who we raise a ticket with, they have a nice portal, they meet an SLA, the ticket gets resolved. For us, it's far more than that. It's about what we can do with the Oracle asset, and we're not always best placed to determine that. Of course, we have our business needs, and Oracle needs to underpin that, but there may be strategic direction of Oracle as a product that we just don't have time to investigate and invest in, and that's where QBRs, managed services, come in. They're not just about ticket resolution, it's just about an extension of the partnership working.
You touched on something really interesting there, that your quarterly business reviews, part of the Namos user community there, you actually have an element of that you do, like you say, with one of our other customers in the region. Today you're at the Namos user group where there's lots of other customers, and also Oracle and us, that three-way partnership, as you say. Why has it been so important to you, Dave, to be able to feel part of that Oracle community and, like you say there, keep your finger on that pulse?
I think I touched on it earlier. You don't always know what is available, and it's not just talking to Namos and Oracle. Networking, people who've gone live with the product later than you, when new features are already embedded, turned on, etc. So it is very important to me to be part of some sort of Oracle community, attending user groups with like-minded organisations, public sector. It doesn't have to be local authority, higher education organisations, very similar setup to us, certainly with HCM. It's been a breath of fresh air because you can just bounce things off each other that you didn't even know was an issue or was possible. So that's why it's important, and that's why I hope we can have some sort of presence in future years at user groups. And if we can't make it in person, then there's the webinars, etc., and we can still feel part of the Oracle community.
You touched on something there about tickets should trail up. It has to. If tickets are going in a different direction, we've got a shared problem. What you've been brilliant at within Knowsley is getting that right balance of what's your in-house support function versus what you're interested in externally. How has that come about? Because your journey has been not just ERP, it's been into HCM and payroll and now AI. So you must be constantly evolving your internal service as well as making sure that we're fitting in and alongside.
Personally, I think that's come about because my background is finance, and Knowsley Council's financial and governance arrangements, in my opinion, are very good. So we are always looking at best value for money. That also means things like not paying for the same thing twice. So when you raise a ticket, you get a resolution for something that may happen in a similar way in the future. Nothing against Namos, nothing against anybody. Why should we pay for that twice? So it's up to us as those skilled professionals to determine where's it best putting the effort. Is it in absorbing those skills? And that's what we'd have Teams calls, perhaps do the work in production ourselves, knowledge shares, etc., or those very technical areas where we thought, well, that's not going to happen again for X amount of years. Why would we ever bother doing things like that? And that's why it's always nice to have a managed service consultancy firm on tap within contracts, so you're not constantly having to reach out to different organisations. So I do think it's because organisationally, best value for money is very important. And so making that decision of what we can learn, what we can do ourselves, even if it's with an effort, and what we can and what we shouldn't.
I mean, our assurance to all customers that we want you to become autonomous. So when you say there about, I'm completely with you. Why, if you've got a brilliantly closed ticket within SLA, we all document it. Why can't we make sure that that's captured and that you and your team can learn from, and that we've got to be open? We can't hide our config away or whatever. And to your point there, even to the point of if we do the fix in a different environment for your guys to promote into production, it means the next time, like you say, you don't have to rely on us. And I think that's having a service set up like that makes you build autonomy, means that where we can focus our efforts is on the things that are going to add more value. And to you and your journey, that meant, because hopefully we've decided that kind of service, you trusted just for HCM and for payroll, as opposed to, if it wasn't virtuous partnership, there wouldn't have been that next engagement.
We will always want a certain level of managed service support and support days, and that's not because we believe that there'll always be issues and always be tickets that need resolving. It's because when we are completely stable and we're pretty close after the HCM implementation, we want to look at what's next. And that's not necessarily spending more money on Oracle modules or Oracle license or Oracle subscriptions. It's about developing what we've already invested in. And that's where you need, again, managed service support. So I see managed service in the future, long term, as about product development and holding our hands, and then move on to the next one. So those managed service requirements don't drop off because the system is stable. You just change focus from resolution to development, and that's where I want to be, development.
So David, just remains for me to say thank you. Thank you so much, not just for attending today's user group and agreeing to this, but years of long-term partnership.
Honestly, my pleasure, and thank you for having us and hosting these user groups. I think it benefits everybody in the Oracle community, Oracle themselves, us in particular, and of course you guys.